to Brewing Success, where growth is the mission, change is the reward, and progress is the goal. I am your host, Andrea Gebhardt. I'm a former educator turned passionate entrepreneur whose desire to create impact has never wavered. I have spent the last decade teaching, mentoring, and coaching people on how to create success in their lives and businesses with proven strategies and systems that not only bring about change, but big results. When it comes down to it, teaching is my specialty, leadership is my jam, and inspiring you to live a bigger, fuller life is what I'm all about. This podcast will give you the knowledge and tools you need to brew success in almost any area of your life. You're going to walk away each week feeling inspired, motivated, and ready to step outside your comfort zone and into the next level of who you're meant to be. Now let's get into today's episode. I am so excited to dive into this topic today and bring you something that seriously has so much value. If you put it into work for yourself now, you're going to see change. If you apply it to any area of your life where you're setting goals, you're going to see change. I've had this conversation with several people over the last, 5 or 6 weeks across the industry with different professional backgrounds, even as a capacity with my kids. And so this is a formula that I use, and I'm going to share with you today that I'm telling you right now is going to have such profound impact on you. So I hope that you are ready. Today, we're going to talk about 3 things you can do right now to separate yourself from the pack and create drastic change really in any area of your life. Literally, this formula creates the clarity that you need, the confidence that you're looking for, as well as the courage that is required for progress. And yes, I said that progress takes courage. It takes courage to realize, 1, that you are made for more. 2, it takes courage to release old habits and ways of thinking and create new ones. And it takes courage to take action day in and day out, some days with reward and some days without. Courage is absolutely required for progress. And I had an epiphany actually about this today. I was leading a Zoom, whereas I was, mentoring a group of people. And one of the individuals jumped into the chat on the Zoom talking about how she just really feels discouraged, right? And when we feel discouraged, we feel defeat. We feel, fear is magnified. Doubts are magnified. When we're discouraged, we operate from a place of lack. When we're discouraged, we lack motivation and inspiration. And if you think about what the word discourage means, it means without courage. Without courage, what can you really accomplish? So you need courage to be successful, because these acts to think bigger than yourself, the act of changing from the inside out, the act of being self-aware and making those adjustments, it takes courage. And it's always the courageous who end up being the champions of life and in life. There's a lot of people who aren't self-aware, who don't self-assess, who don't make those adjustments, and they live the same day over and over and over, experiencing the same struggles over and over and over, getting stuck in those ruts over and over and over. Why? Because they lack the courage necessary for the change they're looking for in their life. But not you, you're different. And today we're going to talk about 3 ways that you can separate yourself from the pack in that way. This is why most people fail to make progress, because they lack the courage to address and assess themselves and identify those areas that of needed improvement and go to work on them. It's easier to stay the same than it is to change. It's easier to sit in the same struggles. It's easier to complain about the challenges of life than it is to find and work towards solutions. It's easier to sit back and see what life throws at you than decide what you're going to throw at life. We all have the ability to make decisions on a daily basis that determine the outcome of our days, which turn into our weeks, our months, our years, and essentially our entire lives. So how do you separate yourself from the pack? How do you ensure that you are not settling in, but strapping up? What decisions do you need to make right now to create massive change? Because here's the deal. You have a choice to draw a line in the sand and really focus in on one of two perspectives. Here's one perspective. We're in the last quarter of the year. What's happened has happened. Whether you're happy with your performance or you're not happy with the performance, whether you're happy with your progress towards your goals or unhappy with your progress towards your goals, it is still the last quarter of the game of the year, right? So we can be like, well, chuck this one up to a loss. Hang up your hopes, hang up your dreams, hang up your aspirations, hang up your purpose, and go and wait for the beginning of a new year. Give up on yourself. Or the perspective of, I am in the last quarter. Let me see how many points I can put on the board. Let me see how much closer I can get to my goal. Let me finish this year with a bang. And I'm going to tell you that your mentality and how you're going to approach this last quarter, how you're going to approach anything, your mentality dictates your ability to come through on that. Like, we're all going to come through. One person's going to come through successful. The other person's going to come through unsuccessful. But here's what I know. There's not a day that we have that's guaranteed, right? Like, why would you put your purpose on hold? Why would you put your dreams on hold, banking on a day that is not promised? When you have today, when you have right now, when you have the ability to scrap whatever mindset you've been carrying, whatever energy you've been holding on to, whatever fears, doubts, and all those things that have been creeping in, close that door and decide today, nope, I'm not going to be like the 97% of the people out there who are giving up on themselves. I'm going to go for it instead. And I'm going to do that with this. So it's really simple. And it comes down to three things. I call this MMB. You guys know I love a good acronym. Okay. MMB, and it stands for Min Max Build. And you can literally apply this formula to any area of your life to create massive change. So I'm going to show you how to apply this, which will really teach you the principle of the concept. And then you can use this formula over and over, teach it to your teams, teach it to your kids, teach it to your friends. This, my friends, is the golden hammer of your toolkit. So let's take this philosophy or this formula of Min Max Build, MMB, right? And let's apply it to weight loss. So if you want to lose weight, you're going to have to min, max, and build. So we have to ask ourselves, what do I need to minimize to lose weight? Well, you're probably already thinking of some things, but obviously you're going to need to minimize sugar consumption. You're going to need to minimize processed foods. You're going to need to minimize, drinking soda and all of alcohol even, right? So you need to realize for yourself, what is it that you need to minimize? What do you need to maximize to lose weight? Protein intake. I need to maximize healthy eating. I need to maximize movement. And then we have to ask ourselves, what do I need to build? LOL. I can't believe I just said LOL out loud. That's embarrassing. Okay, but muscle for sure, right? But you're going to have to build a healthy mindset around working out and eating right. Build healthier habits that lead you to better decisions. Build a workout routine that fits your goals and your lifestyle. So we're going to minimize eating sugar. I'm going to maximize my protein intake and movement, and I'm going to build a better relationship with working out and eating better. So if you plug that formula in and you do those things, you're going to work to minimize and or eliminate all the unhealthy things. You're going to maximize, put more time, energy, and effort into the things that are going to create the biggest impact. And you're going to build habits, build better relationships with the things that we talked about. That's how you could apply that to weight loss, for example. You list these things out and you use them as your guiding light toward reaching your goals. So taking this formula and applying it to something a little bit different, let's say you want to buy a house, probably like not in this market, by the way. So let's apply this formula. What do you need to minimize in order to buy a house? You need to minimize your expenses and save money, right? What do we need to maximize? Our credit score, our savings for down payment. What do you need to build? You need to build relationships with realtors so you can find the right person to work with. And you also need to build knowledge of the market and the process. Because the more informed you are, right? Like the better you are able to like kind of manage your expectations around the time of the process or some of the hiccups that are common in the process, things of that nature. Say you want to have better relationships with your kids. What do you need to minimize? When I thought about this for myself, like I want to have better relationships with my kids. If that's a goal, I constantly want to revisit and refresh that goal. What do I need to minimize? Criticizing, right? It's easy to say, hey, you didn't do this, you didn't do that, but let's focus on what they did do, right? So I'm going to minimize criticizing, maybe minimize time on my own phone, my devices, and encourage them to minimize theirs so we have more conversations and eye contact and all those things taking place. What do you need to maximize? Listening, discussing, asking questions, quality time, physical affection. What do I need to build? Healthy communication habits, healthy communication styles. Need to build trust, need to build appropriate parenting styles for the different seasons and ages of lives that my kids are in. I'm obviously parenting my 17-year-old senior a whole lot differently than I'm parenting my seventh grade 12-year-old, right? And so whatever your goal is, identify the goal, identify what you need to minimize, what you need to maximize, and what you need to build in order to reach that goal. And then every single day, you revisit this. You use this as a backboard for decision making. So if you're trying to buy a house and you're really tempted to buy that really cute purse that just came out, you're like, nope, can't, because I'm minimizing expenses, right? So I love this because, again, you can apply this anywhere and it works every single time. So now that you get how this works, let's talk about how you can use this formula to separate yourself from the pack. The 97% of people who are right now choosing the struggle bus, allowing negativity to drown out possibility. The 97% who are quite frankly failing to show up and live their lives with purpose on purpose. So if the goal is to separate yourself from the pack and create more success in your life, here is what your MMB needs to look like. Well, before I get there, I need your agreement. I need you to know that you're on the same page with me here. Like, I need to know that this is actually what you want. That change is what you want. That progress is what you want. That success is what you want. If you want it, say, I want it. This is what I want, because I could teach you all the things. I could mentor you in, out, upside down, all of the ways. But if you're not bought into your own progress, change, success, this is kind of like a really empty exercise, right? Do you want to change for the better? Do you want to make progress in your life? Do you want to have more success in what you are doing? I hope that all those answers were yes, yes, yes. And if they are, then let's get to work. So in order to be more successful, that's the goal, to be more successful. Now that sounds pretty vague, right? Like just more successful in general, but you can dial this down. You can get super specific. I've had people use this formula for specific sales target. I've had people use this formula for specific aspects of team dynamics or relationships. My gosh, it's been used in so many different ways. That's why I love how flexible it is, But what do I need if I want to be more successful? What do I need to minimize, maximize, and build? The answer is simple, and I'm telling it to you right now. You need to minimize your excuses. You need to maximize your reasons. And you need to build habits that yield results and build evidence of success. So I said that you need to minimize excuses. Yes, it is that simple. If you want to make progress, you gotta get rid of the excuses that are holding you back. We make excuses so we don't have to make room for actions. We make excuses because it's a way to avoid the required work. We make excuses now so we can have excuses later for why we weren't successful. You just need to decide that you are no longer a person who makes excuses. Literally, write it down. Write it down. I do not make excuses. And make it a part of your identity. If we write them down and we look at them, right? Like if you write down all your excuses, like what are the excuses you perpetually give yourself? I'm too tired. I don't have time. I'm stressed. I'm overwhelmed. So-and-so this, so-and-so that, right? Excuses sometimes show up in the form of blame. I don't have the resources. Like somebody sound the ambulance. Okay. but if you take these excuses, like what are your current excuses? Write them down. What excuses do you find yourself making? Write them down. Because when you write them down, it makes it easier to recognize them when they appear, stop them dead in their tracks, and then eliminate them because it's not true. It's not true, right? And so this is a big deal. And notice here what I said is I didn't say stop making excuses. I said minimize excuses. If you think about minimize is to make less over time. Nobody will ever be successful if they try to go cold turkey anything, right? Quit cold turkey anything, start cold turkey anything. You have to give yourself time to build in, to learn in, to make room for, mistakes and failure along the way of that. Like, that's why we say minimize. So this way you can become the person who doesn't make excuses. You see, excuses, let me just tell you really what excuses are. Excuses are just reasons why you should be doing something dressed in fear. Excuses are just reasons dressed in fear. Usually the excuse you create is the exact reason why you need to be taking action, why you need to be doing what you need to do, why you need to be following through. This leads us to the next step of maximize. Maximize your reasons. Have you ever put thought into why it is that you are doing what you are doing? Like, why? Are you, there's 4 basic things that most people want. Most people want more time, more income, more options, more flexibility. So of those 4, like we probably all want all 4 of those, but there's a priority and that priority changes over time and in different seasons. So what is that for you? What is it that you want? Why does it matter? Who does it impact? What does it change? Why is that important to you? These are the questions that you want to ask yourself. And you want to list those reasons, right? Like when I think about when I started my entrepreneurial journey, I wanted more time with my kids. I wanted more options for my family. I wanted more flexibility with my schedule so that I could be present and participate and do all of those things. And then understanding why that matters, who that impacts, what that changes, listing your reasons why. Having extra income, being able to go on vacation, being able to have a savings, being able to pay for my kids' college, being able to do this and do that and blah, 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 blah. What are your reasons why you're doing what you're doing? If you haven't explored that, which you should probably, if you're not driving, pause this and explore it for a hot minute and then jump right back in. Because if you haven't, then you're denying yourself the ability to create an emotional connection to your work. You're failing to give your work meaning. This is what often leads to an individual's inability to overcome adversity, to give in when it gets tough, or to quit altogether when the expected results aren't coming in the time that you anticipated. So you need to maximize the reasons behind what you are doing. You need to be as specific with these reasons as possible and write them down. And you're going to want to read and review these reasons every day so that you can be reminded of why you need to show up, why you need to strive, and why you need to persist. You need to create emotional connection to the work that you're doing, especially if you're an entrepreneur building your dream alongside of your career, especially if you're in an industry or a space where you're learning something for the first time and you're kind of like pioneering your own path. You've got to maximize your reasons. Why am I doing this? Who is it for? Why does it matter? How come it's important? What does it change? Why is that such a big deal to me? And get as specific as possible. So when you show up and you sit down to your laptop, or you go to your office, or you do whatever it is that you do, here's why I'm doing this today. Here's who I'm showing up for. Here's why this work matters. Here's why I'm going to strive. Here's why I'm going to overcome. Here's why I'm going to persist, because this is what I'm doing it for. And you want to talk about how to become motivated? You want to talk about how to be inspired? It all comes from within. And when you connect your reasons to the work, my gosh, that inner fire, you guys, ignites the desire that you have inside of you to wholeheartedly pursue your dream. Lastly, you need to build the habits that are going to yield the results desired and build evidence of success. Build the habits. What habits do you need to create? What habits do you need to improve? What habits do you need to eliminate maybe? Now, I could spend some time here and give you some good habits to put into action, but at the end of the day, you already know what they are. Like you already know. Because you already fight this battle in yourself, right? You just aren't following through on them. And again, notice I said build habits, which means working towards proficiency and consistency in them. It's not going to happen overnight. You can't just say, I'm going to wake up every morning at 5 a.m. and hit the gym. That's not going to happen. It's the first day is the alarm going off. The second day is actually putting your feet on the floor. The next day you're getting out of bed and you got your workout clothes on the chair and they're dressed. And the next day you go to your garage to work out or you drive to the gym to the workout. It takes time to build the habit. Then you become the person who works out at 5 a.m. What kind of person do you want to become? Build the habits that are going to build the person that you want to be. Boom. That was good, right? Like somebody sent that back to me. That was awesome. So you got to build the habits that are going to build the person that you want to be. That's incredible when you start to think about that. You're going to fumble and you're going to fail and you're going to succumb to distraction. And just like your habits are always going to be a work in progress. For example, having a set time to work each day, having a set list of tasks, activities, a DMO, if you will. If you're building like a network marketing business and you need a DMO and you don't have one, shoot me a message and I'll share mine with you. Like literally the DMO that has generated over $30 million in sales in the last 3 years. It works, it's effective, and it's a great place to start. Ultimately, your success is determined not by your talent, not by your skill, not by your abilities or your education. It's determined by your habits. And that's why we want to build habits that yield results and create evidence of success. And again, these are very personal to you. What habits you need to build. Maybe it's, you working part of your business during a certain time block of the day. Maybe the habit is turning off the television at night and spending time on your dreams there. It's going to look different for everybody, but if you don't distinguish the habits that you need to build, you're never going to build success. You're never going to build evidence of success. In fact, you're going to find yourself swirling in this pool of overwhelm, of confusion, of feeling like you're doing the things and not getting anywhere. There's a difference between feeling like you're doing the things and actually doing the things. And here, let me just give you this piece of advice. If there is someone in life where you want to be, if there is someone doing something in this life that you want to do, if there is someone out there building, creating, and doing, leading in a way that you want to, making an income, living a lifestyle that you want to, you shoot them a message and you say, what is one habit that has led to your success? What is one habit that you put into practice that has, contributed to who you are and what you've created? And find out what the people who are doing the things and have the things that you want to do and you want to have are doing, and use that to kind of get an idea of what habits. I'm going to tell you right now, you go to any successful person and you're like, what habits do you have in place? I'm like, well, I don't really have any habits. I just do whatever, right? You go to somebody who's successful. You go to somebody, tell me your top 3, top 5 habits every single day. What are your success habits? What do you do to build success in your life? And they're going to know them right then and there. Like they've been waiting all day for you to ask that question. It's on the tip of their tongue because it's so ingrained in who they are. It's who they've become. Their habits have built who they've become. Your habits have the ability to build who you become, right? We talked about that. Or who you will never become. Ouch. So again, this formula is incredible. I'm telling you, if you put this to work and you take what I just taught you seriously and put it into action, you're going to be amazed at how fast that needle begins to move, how much more progress you start to make, how much more success you start to have, how much more successful you start to feel overall. If you've ever wanted a formula for success, it is right here. Start here and see how far you go. Start here and see how much you grow. Start here and revel in the magic of the Min-Max Build formula, a formula you can apply to any area of your life and get real results. This works, my friends, and I cannot wait to hear all the ways that it is working for you. So do me a huge favor. Share this episode on your social media. Tag me. Tag the Brewing Success Podcast page. Send it to someone you are mentoring, to a fellow entrepreneur or a developing leader. Drop it in my inbox and tell me. Tell me what resonated with you the most. Share your min-max build with me. That way I can sit beside you on the next best part of your journey, of your story, the part where you get seriously intentional and get some serious wins under your belt. Let's do this thing, man. I'm so fired up and so excited. Thank you so much for being here, for being a part of this incredible community. Until next time.